can only hear you sometimes. I can only speak your broken language, and when I'm listening to the dogs, I don't use any words, but I can hear them talking clear as day. And that's a more primitive version of the language that you speak, and I can only understand it almost never. I have to be watching something or listening to something or see something or hear something that I can feel and become enraptured by, and then I can hear your language, but I can't understand it. Too much need to get back to the words, the insufficient construct meant to mimic an infinite landscape of human understanding. When I think of myself younger, I don't precisely know how to describe it. There's plenty of ways that people would try to describe the thing I'm thinking of. Something of, an innocence lost, or a maturity, or that's just learning what it means to be alive and to be an adult. But it's not that. It's not that. It's not an innocence that's lost. It was a purpose and meaning that was never understood. Well, we're all born with that. Some meaning, some purpose, some design. And we don't know what it is because we're children. We don't know how to understand it. And we look to those around us to explain to us what we are. And they don't know what we are. They don't even know what they are. Because no one was there to show them when they were asking this question that they didn't know they were asking. This me, this young me, this thing I had, it's not a thing I lost. It's not a thing that was broken. It's a thing that can't be broken. It's a thing that can't be made to be anything other than what it is. And it's a thing that we walk around our entire lives mostly having no concept of what it is, what it's for, or what to do with it. And not being able to identify it, and not being able to learn how to become it is this sort of almost sickness that we get infected with. And everybody keeps telling us how to fix it, or what it means, or they know and they understand. And they give you tinctures of lead and pomegranate as though that's going to fix you, not understanding that what they're doing is actually killing you. And not through any malice or ill intent or bad design or anything other than wishing the best for you. They just don't understand. And as a consequence, you never understand. And some people are fortunate and have some, I guess I would say, calling in what they view as what they're supposed to do in this world. Or they have some sort of drive or some sort of ambition. Or maybe they just propelled forward by their desire to do their inability to not do. And they achieve some semblance of something we decide is success because we don't know what looks better than it. But we do know what looks better than it. And we see it, and we keep telling it in all of our stories. We know there's this version of heroism that we're all supposed to embody, and we don't perfectly understand what it is for every person. But we see it in aspects of many stories. It doesn't have to be the knight killing the dragon. It can be the blacksmith making his armor. And dividing up the money and making his family not eat as well because he knows he has to make this armor the best he possibly can. And he sees the hungry look in his children's eyes. And he knows if not, but for this thing he had to do, they could be fed, they could not be hungry. But he understands that in order to make sure they're safe and make sure they're taken care of, the dragon has to die. So he voluntarily chooses some amount of suffering, and it's not the suffering that will get him the gold, and it's not the suffering that will get him the princess, but it's the suffering that enabled all of that to happen. And you'll see it in the cobbler, and in the baker, and in the butcher, and in the fletcher, and in the carpenter. They all have little stories like this that when we look at them, we can see their version of what heroism looks like to them. And it's what their version of heroism looks like to us. We look at them and we see their heroes. So we know what it looks like, and we know how it applies to everybody, and we know it's not the same for everybody. But it doesn't make it any less heroic, and it doesn't make it any less important. But we don't know how to replicate it. We don't know how to see when someone's young, there to be that blacksmith in 40 years. So instead we think, oh, this is how you kill dragons, or this is what you have to deal with, or this is the world you're born into, and this is the thing that is the ideal Ubermensch that you must learn to mimic and contort yourself into, and it's not correct. But it's not malice. They just don't know. They don't know how to make it. They just know it when they see it. And they'll see it, even just the small things the baker has to do to be sure the knight has his bread when he goes on his journey. And they can see the baker and all at the same time because the sacrifices are what they did in order to make sure that the knight had that bread. They feel proud, inspired, ashamed, all at the same time because they know that is what it's supposed to be. But that's the thing, isn't it? We need to be shown what it is that we're supposed to be. We don't know, and those around us don't know. I can hear you talking, but I can't speak the language anymore. It's very rare that I can. And when I hear you, you're just weeping. Because of what I've had to do, because of what I've had to become, and because how it's not what we're supposed to be. Not innocence lost, not a breakage, not an adaptation, not a maturity. It's a meaning that cannot be negotiated with, and it cannot be forgotten, and it cannot be tucked away, and it can't be forgotten. And we don't know how to talk to it, and we don't know how to understand it. I don't know what you want me to do. Well, I guess that's not the right way to phrase it. I don't know what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to do through me. I don't understand. Or if I have any glimpses or insights into what I'm supposed to do, or any potential mode of understanding, I'm too scared to listen to it and to do anything about it. Because I know what it means to lose everything that I have. And when I think of what's the right thing to do, is the right thing to let go of everything? To let everything damn itself to hell if needs be, in the pursuit of finding this, whatever it is, learning to speak in that way again, learning to understand in that mechanism I was born to. And if everything has to burn around me, or if I never do that, and I live with the consequence of never doing that, and it never leaves me, and it never rests, and it never gives me any peace, which one is better? And when I ask myself that, well, clearly I know what my answer is because I live it. I just don't understand. Or rather, this place isn't something that's made for me to understand and know what to do with it. And that's part of the problem, isn't it? I see you playing. I see you down there on the floor of the hallway telling your stories, and I see you looking up to me, and I hear you talking, and I can't understand you. Or I refuse to. It costs so much, and I don't know I can pay it. to speak like you again. Yeah, there you are. Yeah. Yeah, it does have to stop, but I don't know I can. Yeah, all right, Jesus. Yeah. If someone can take the burden from you, but if I have to carry it, yeah, I know. That's too big. I can't fix that. Yeah, someone does have to. Indeed. Someone does have to. You know, it's not about the recognition, it's not about the praise, it's not about the prestige, it's not about the position, the hierarchy, it's not about people quoting me, it's not about me being an inspiration and knowing that I did well. It's not about any of that bullshit. It's about every kid I see that has to live that, and how that is completely fucking unacceptable. That is not good enough. It's not fucking good enough. But I can't think about it with the noise. You know, my favorite thing about walking outside at 3 in the morning is I can hear the city asleep. I can hear the silence. And the thing is the silence isn't deafening, it's that the silence is the only time I can hear at all. Everything else is too busy. Gotta go, gotta fix this, gotta change that. This needs to get done, this needs to get handled, but does it? Yeah, because it doesn't. If then you'll starve. But does that matter? Clearly, my answer is yes. But maybe that's not fucking good enough either. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to I don't know how to think about that, how to learn that language, how to speak it, how to master it while I have to do all these other things. I don't know how to do both at the same time. Right. Wall. One brick. Right. So what is the brick? Can I look at the brick? Am I allowed to? Can I jump out of terror for long enough to at least be able to see one brick of a wall? What is it? What's the first brick? Hmm. Seclusion, yes. Yeah, but the seclusion only works when everything's asleep. It's the only time I can hear it properly. It has to be at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Okay. So the first brick is the unlock. Right. The first brick is learning how to unlock it, turn it on and off at will. It doesn't need to be a fast process, it just needs to be a process that works. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's listening to a symphony, watching a movie, it doesn't reading a story, watching an interview, listening, it doesn't matter what it is, it just has to be reliable. That's the first brick. No. Right. Yeah. No, the first brick is dedicating to finding the first brick. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, how? Thanks, Nike. Just do it. Yeah. I suppose that's right in this circumstance. I have to commit to it like it's a serious endeavor. Right, and I have to act like I need to do it every day, even if the ultimate answer isn't doing it every day. I need to do it every day until I figure out the answer isn't doing it every day. Okay. And the motivation is remembering me. Playing on that floor in the hallway. Not knowing what I'm supposed to do. Being told a dissonant story of what it means to be alive and what it means to be loved by people that don't know or don't understand what any of that means. And I need to remember you. I need to see you. That's going to be unpleasant. And I'm going to try to lock it away whenever I try to do it. Hmm. Human beings don't apply meaning to things. They limit the infinite meaning that that objects provide them in the specified domains. The language to understand, to learn how to speak, is one that words can't represent because it accounts for too many elements of meaning, and it makes words insufficient. That's the level I have to think about this on. That's where I have to live. And I have to take it to where, from a place where words don't work, into a place where words are the language. And not just for all the little kids that are going to have to go through this over and over and over until God knows how long, but I need to do it for you specifically. I don't know I can, but I'm going to try to find you. And I'm going to try to get you out of there.